Mohit, your thoughts on, when you look at returns, what data threw up for you? Has the performance, purely on a return basis, has that performance been satisfactory for ULIPs?
So Surbhi, I agree with Vivek to that extent that because ULIPs are locked in products, fund manager has a flexibility to take a longer term view. However, if you go dig deep, look, so I don't know how many investors would know names of ULIP plans as you would know names of mutual fund plans. How many investors would know names of fund managers under ULIPs or insurance companies as they would know the names of fund managers and mutual funds, right? So there is a difference when it comes to performance. Over a long period of time, mutual funds have had a more sustainable and a more long-lasting performance. And one very important part, Subhi, which we miss out, is that there is a gross reduction of 3%, and to the last section which we were referring to, there is a gross reduction of 3% in the overall yields if the term of a ULIP is less than 10 years, right? So that 3% gross reduction is fairly high. And the charges in a ULIP are deducted by deduction of units, and they are not deducted from the NAV of the fund, which is a very, very big point, right? So when it comes to performance, the performance will look very good, but for an investor's return sheet, when he looks at his own return, if you are invested in a ULIP and if you see your own performance for 5 years, 10 years, the charges would have got deducted by deducting your units and not being amortized from your NAV. So the NAVs published on the screens are fairly different. They will reflect a higher return and they will not show you how many units have got deducted out of your overall holdings. So that's a very, very key difference in terms of analyzing the return of a mutual fund. The returns of mutual funds are adjusted in the NAV. The charges of mutual funds, are adjusted in the NAV. The charges of ULIPs are adjusted by deducting units. So that the investors have to be cognizant of that part actually.
So Mohit, to me, you're not sounding too convinced or totally convinced on at least the cost structure bit of it. But let me take Vivek's other argument. I mean, Vivek pointed out a very interesting product, which is the child plan. And when I also studied this a little bit, it made a lot of sense because in the unfortunate event of the parent's death, there is waiver of premium. So the plan continues and there are no future premiums that need to be paid, right? So any such products which perhaps do merit a closer look according to you, Mohit?
So yeah, I agree to you on that part and to Vivek as well. I think that's a great clause which insurance provides, and for a child's future, I think that's a fantastic thing. Even in mutual funds these days, there are plans where insurance policies are getting clubbed. So most of the fund houses today offer you a top-up insurance where if you are doing an SIP or something, there is a kind of a waiver of SIP sort of thing which these unique products provide. But look, the whole point again out here is that you will stop paying and the plan will continue and your corpus will continue. So there will be no further premiums which will be required to be paid. If you're doing an SIP for your child, if you don't pay the further tranches, the corpus will continue even in a mutual fund, right? And you can withdraw it or you can pass it on to the nominee or so on and so forth, right? So you've not been asked to put fresh money either in mutual funds or in insurance, and both the things continue as it is. However, I kind of agree that the waiver of premium is a very good clause which the insurance companies provide.
Okay.